Hello Libra, welcome to your July forecast for the year of 2017. I'm Kiana Mayfield from LibraLunaCenter.com, and for you, this month is all about finding your place in the world, your role in the chessboard, in the game of life, right? And this is preparing you for the eclipse season, which will determine where your life is going, Libra. Because I feel for you, you have been on the fence for so very long about where the direction of your life is taking you. And this will culminate in the moving of the pieces of the chessboard, right? Where you are placed determines your destiny. And for you, the beginning of July, we had Chiron stationing retrograde in your 6th house in Pisces, 28 degrees Pisces. Chiron retrograde, of course, is the development of our own coming to terms with our own wounding, right? Our own pain, by confronting our pain, by owning our pain, by transmuting our pain, right? Through the inner reflection of our pain and the release of it. And for you, in your 6th house, this is your connection to your reality, right? This is the connection between your dreams and the objective world, right? Where there is a disparagement, where there is disillusionment, right? Where there has been this process of confoundment about what is real and what is not, okay? And as well, our own health, right? Our own connection to our body, our own balancing within reality, right? It's almost as though nothing has felt right for you, Libra. The question has been for you, what life do I need to live? Because the life I'm living has been causing me pain. How do I live a life of balance and harmony and love and joy and happiness? How does this come about? How do my thoughts, with Saturn in your 3rd house, how do my thoughts create my reality? What must I do? What must I develop within myself to create the reality of my choosing, right? We have, for you, Venus, your ruling planet, moving into Gemini on the 4th of July. And on the next day, we have Mercury entering Leo, your 11th house. Venus entering Gemini in your 9th, Mercury in your 11th. And at the same time, we have Neptune retrograde in, hello Isis, in its final quincunx, its 3rd and final quincunx to Jupiter in your 1st, right? And this is where we have been confounded by reality, right? Where we have almost been directionless, right? Rootless. This sense of rootlessness is coming to an end as we expand our sense of what home is to us. As we expand our vision, Libra. As we expand what we believe life is, by understanding multiple different angles of the same world, right? The truth is, Libra, we all live in one world, right? We all live in one world, objectively speaking. If you look at the surface level, right? We all live on planet Earth in human bodies, right? With physical senses, physical skin, physical bones. And there is a certain degree of limitation within the reality that we live in, right? But it's in our perception of our world that creates our world. And for you, this has been an ongoing challenge, right? Because you have to have the mindset of a new world before you can leave your old one. You must understand the mental requirements, the physical requirements that this new world requires. That this new world has as its gatekeeper, right? As its key. How do you enter it? Is by becoming the world that you wish to inhabit. And there goes the saying, right? Because Libra, your life is dominated by who you surround yourself with, right? Your life is dominated by or ruled by what you attract into your experience. The people, the relationships, the mirror reflection on the outside, right? You are finding yourself through the other. But with Jupiter in your sign, you have to come to terms with who you are before you can see it reflected in the other, in the outside world. And that comes by way of choosing who you will be, choosing what you will expand into. And if you do not know who you want to be, you must surround yourself with the people who are your best self, right? Who you feel are your best self. This comes by way of aligning with your soul family. And by aligning with your soul family, before you can do that, you must come to terms with what your purpose is on this planet. And aligning with the people who align with that purpose, right? You have all this energy in Cancer in the beginning of the month, going through your 10th house of legacy and purpose in your career and your overall standing, what you contribute creatively to this world as an individual. And with your 10th house in Cancer, what you contribute is determined by what you feel, what you dream, Libra. Because you are meant to be the mediator on this planet. You are meant to bring balance, harmony, beauty to this world. And the only way to find balance, harmony, and beauty, and to be able to offer it as an outer reflection, is by becoming it, right? By tuning in to what speaks to your feelings. And this is building up to the full moon in Capricorn, which will happen July 9th for most people in the world. And it will be an exact conjunction to Pluto. Pluto retrograde in your 4th house, the bottom, the base of your chart. And this is what our legacy, what our destiny is, may ultimately need to be uprooted, right? Uprooted in a sense that when we figure out who we are, perhaps what we've been in does not contribute to where we're going. And this is the deepest look It's your emotional inner mystery world, Libra. Of what speaks to you as a soul. And ultimately, this may require you to make an adjustment in where you stand, right? This can be relocation, right? This can be the need to move yourself to another part of the world. Whether this is a psychological move, a psychological adjustment to your world, or a physical relocation. Perhaps both, right? And where you are, not only in the physical world, but psychologically, right? Where you stand, what your foundation is, where your home is, determines ultimately where you belong. And Libra, you've been trying so hard for so many years now to figure out where you belong. And ultimately, the answer comes. And the answer lies in our heart with all this Leo energy, right? And our heart is speaking to where we belong in this world, because it speaks to what our dreams are, right? What our ideals are, what our sense of balance, harmony, and justice are. What our idea of love is. And this is the confrontation. With the parts of you that is afraid of your soul. Even though you are a Libra, to create the world of our dreams, right? Ultimately, this requires a degree of commitment to a certain path, right? Capricorn is the contract. Libra is the contract as well, but it's more of the, right, the social obligation, right? The interpersonal agreement, the compromise. Capricorn is the foundation, the setting in stone, the concrete, right? The monument of our agreements. And the full moon in Capricorn in your 4th house, with Saturn, Capricorn's ruling planet, going retrograde in your 3rd, right? Your relationship to your environment, your relationship to your mind, it needs to shift, right? And it comes by way of of controlling our own thoughts. Because our thoughts are controlled by what we feel. Libra, and if you want to experience balance and harmony and beauty in your life, you have to cultivate these emotions deep inside of you, and you have to commit yourself to it. You have to commit yourself to it. Standing on the fence between chaos and beauty, harmony, love, ultimately, is where this constant interplay of confusion and pain stems from. The pain is the result of our cognitive dissonance. Because, Libra, it is when you give up your emotions. Not in the sense that you give up emoting, right? But you do not harness your emotions. You do not master them. and the mastery of your emotions, that you find what your heart is speaking to you and where you need to be in this world, where your role is. The confrontation between what is the deepest layer of your being, the emotions you try to keep under the rug for everyone because Pluto's involved. But for you, this is at the bottom, the base of your chart, right? The deepest part of your chart, the part of your chart nobody sees, right? The midnight point. And only you know what that is, Libra. Only you know. And you cannot tiptoe around it anymore. You cannot. Because it leads to this sense of cognitive dissonance between your heart, your truest heart, right? Versus your need to be accepted in some way. Right? Libras are known for that. This is how you cultivate harmony in your life. This is what you're saying you want. You have to live it, Libra. You have to. And so, on the 16th of July, we have the last quarter square of the moon in Aries, your opposite sign. And it will be in exact conjunction to Uranus. 28 degrees, Uranus will be at its highest point, right? Which means next month, Uranus will be going retrograde at this exact degree, 28 degrees. And this last quarter square of the moon in Aries will be in mutual reception with Mars, which will be in square to, as well as the sun, right? So for everyone, this is the breakout. But for you, this is aligning with the right relationships in your life. Because the right relationships in your life, Libra, are the ones that set you free. Are the ones that align with your destiny, align with your ultimate legacy that you're meant to leave on this planet. Your life is determined by who you surround yourself with, Libra. No matter how much you try to deny this fact, you are the mirror. Your role is the mirror. And if you want to see your dreams reflected back to you, you have to surround yourself with it. And it's not through the overcompensation of yourself that this occurs, right? It is in the balance between yourself and the other. Whether this is a relationship in your life, whether this is just yourself and the rest of society, right? The public, the outside world, how you relate as a self. Who that self is determined by what you're surrounded by what you creatively contribute to. And with Jupiter in your sign, Libra, the expansion of yourself comes through aligning with who you are spiritually connected to. And who you're spiritually connected to, you will know because they will have a common purpose with you. With you. They will have a common purpose, collective purpose. We will have the new moon in Leo, 0 degrees conjuncting Mars in your 11th house. This will happen on July 23rd. And it's opening the portal to the eclipse season, which will occur next month in August, right? There will be 2 new moons in Leo this year. And this new moon in Leo is just the stepping stone to the total solar eclipse in Leo next month. Little more than a month. By July 23rd, right? It'll be August 21st when that solar eclipse occurs. And it will be an explosion of energy, right? In your place, your role in this world by the relationships you connect to in your life. You will know where you belong, Libra. You will know what your ultimate place in this world is and who you need to be with. What groups you need to align yourself with. And this will be determined by where you feel free, right? Because it's not enough to just rebel by expressing your emotions in some isolated area of your life, right? With the South Node in Aquarius in your 5th house. If you want to express yourself creatively, right? If you want to experience a great degree of love in your life in your own way, right? Through who you're connected to. You can't just do it with anybody, Libra. Right? And this comes by controlling your emotions, mastering your emotions. Otherwise, it could end in chaos. Aquarius, South Node, in the 5th house. It can. Or, because the nodal axis is always, how it plays out is always determined by how well you are ingesting life at your North Node, right? At the North Node. How you experience your South Node is determined by how you relate and ingest life at the North Node, because it will be released through the South. And what is released, right, can be chaotic relationships, right? If you're not harnessing your North Node, there is the saying, pride goeth before a fall, right? If you're not harnessing the North Node in its highest light, it can feel like your heart is all over the place. But is that really your heart, Libra? No. It's your emotions, unharnessed. The only way to harness your emotions is by understanding what your purpose on this planet is. And your purpose on this planet is connected to a network of people, certain relationships in your life, a common theme, common thread that connects your souls to a purpose, to a collective purpose that you are to each contribute to in your own creative way. And you can only creatively contribute your emotions with the South Node in Aquarius, right? Because this is what you want. The South Node is always what we most want, and we can only get it by harnessing your North Node. The South Node in Aquarius in your 5th. This greater degree of love is ultimately what you wish to cultivate. This greater degree of self-expression of your heart. And your heart is determined by what you commit to, where your place in this world is. Okay, so on the 25th of July, we have Mercury entering Virgo, your 12th house. And again, this is speaking to, because Mercury will go retrograde next month, but that's another topic, right? This is speaking to the understanding of, with Virgo, the most analytical sign in your 12th house, right? The understanding of our spiritual source. The understanding of our dharma and our karma in this world. The unraveling and the purification of our spiritual purpose. And the clearing out of old, toxic, can be, as it's opposing, it will eventually oppose Chiron. It won't this month, but the opposition of Pisces, where the South Node had been last year, right? The purification of your connection to Source. Clearing out What cannot enter into this new world? What cannot enter into where you ultimately belong in this world, Libra? And the fine-tuning of what your spiritual purpose is. The fine-tuning of it. And Saturn is beginning to stop at will station direct next month. And so it is beginning to slow down. It will slow down at 21 degrees. And this is happening for you in your third house. So where you are most stuck, Libra, in this shift is your mind, is your connection to the environment around you. And this comes by, are you in the right environment? Are you surrounded by people who are nurturing seeds of thought that help you to create this world that you ultimately want to step into? You have to expand your circle, Libra. You can't be isolated. You were not born to be isolated. You are the sign of relationship to the mirror. And the mirror is everything that is other. It does not have to be another person, one other person. It can be the relationship to everything and everyone you come across. Your relationship to your cat or dog. Your relationship to your home. The earth. Anything. This relationship determines the quality of your life. And you want a higher quality of life, Libra. The life of your dreams, the Disneyland that you've been searching for, is determined by what you're surrounded by. And if it's not matching up, it's time for a change, right? Okay, so by the end of this month, we have the first quarter square of the moon in Scorpio in your second house, squaring over to the sun and Mars in Leo in your 11th. And we have Venus entering Cancer, your 10th house. Venus, your ruling planet, the top of your chart. And so, Libra, we come to the practical considerations of how you create this new world, right? The ultimate manifestation. This is the ultimate beginning of manifestation for you, Libra. Because while we have been on the fence, right? While we have not altogether stepped into this new world, because we've been in a constant state of resting on the fence, of perceiving it, right? Of looking at it without understanding how to become it, right? How to create it. Now we can get into how to create it. Now we can supply ourselves with the resources and the tools and the people and the contacts we need to be able to build our future. Whether this requires a career change, whether this requires the pursuit of the attraction of a greater degree of resources, whether that's money, right? Self-worth, a new project, right? A makeover, anything. It is the stepping stone to manifesting this world you have been dreaming and pondering over for so very long. So, Libra, I hope you have a wonderful July. This is all about you finding your tribe, right? Finding where you belong in this world, and it's in the shifting of where you are in the game of life, right? If you think of life as a chessboard, you have been playing as a certain piece this entire time. And with Jupiter in Libra, where you've been positioned on the chessboard has not fulfilled you ultimately. And so this is requiring a shifting of the pieces on the chessboard, and also where your position is, so that you may come to a point of victory. So again, Libra, I hope you have a wonderful month, and I will see you next time.